But the Harden piece of this, it's they need him to be the James Harden they get in the regular season to have any chance, right?
Absolutely, but here's what happens in the playoffs. Teams scout your strengths and your weaknesses. And if you're going to be a team that's heavily isolation and shoot a large volume of threes, over 50% of their shots are going to be from three. So what do you do defensively? You press up on the three-point line.
Yep.
You make them shoot from further. You make them go ISO while everybody's standing. You force them into help, and then you play the percentages. And that's what the Golden State Warriors have done a terrific job of doing.
Stan, why is it so different, the regular season to playoffs?
Well, teams are always better prepared. There's obviously a greater commitment on the part of all the players at the defensive end of the floor. That has a great deal to do with it. And you're asking this guy to hit home runs all night long. There's not a lot of movement. There's not a lot else going on. He's got to be a home run hitter. You watch the home run derby, Mike? Those guys all get tired when they get into the last round of trying to hit home runs all night.
And so, Sean, you draw the unfortunate short stick because I'm coming to you last on this topic, and this is the question that has to be asked.
My mic works, so I'm already ahead of Richard.
Part of it might be the defense, and then part of we've seen players who just aren't as good in the playoffs. I don't want to use the word choke, but some sort of seem to shrivel a little bit in the brighter moments. Is it possible there's an element of that going on here with Harden as well?
I don't think there is at all.
No.
I mean, he's such a scorer, and what is changing is what Coach and Jalen and everybody's talking about here defensively, how they're able to scheme, how they're able to adjust. And in particular, the Warriors, the length and the different guys that they can throw at him during the course of the game. It's not just one guy. Last night, Andre Iguodala, I thought, did a very good job defending James Harden. And then at other times, you saw Kevin Durant on James Harden. So they give him different looks. They're paying so much attention to him. It's not about choking. It's about what the defense is doing.
And the other part is that they're playing against one of the great dynasties in basketball history, right? Let's be honest. You're going to put them into the San Antonio Spurs era, the Bulls era, the Lakers, multiple eras, the Celtics. So they're playing against a great team. Think about all the guys that didn't win a championship because of Michael Jordan, right? And so you have the Knicks, you had the Pacers, you had so many great, the Jazz. So it's like, so to criticize James Harden and just like, oh, he's not good in the postseason because he's losing to 4 All-Stars at one point in time, 5 All-Stars with DeMarcus Cousins.
But also, as an offense, you got to be able to diversify your attack. And what ends up happening is when you watch the Golden State Warriors play, you see multiple players moving, multiple players cutting, multiple players getting shots. When you watch Houston play, those players are perched behind the three-point line. We could switch because they're not going to post up. And they don't want to play mid-range. So you suffocate the three line, you force them to drive into help.
But it's also a talent thing. I mean, come on, the Warriors, 3 of the best 4 offensive players on the floor in that series play for the Golden State Warriors.
Understood. But I sat with Kobe Bryant at the NBA store here 2 months ago, and he said that style of basketball will not win a championship. What the Rockets try to do every single night does not win a championship. At the end of the day, is it that? Jalen's talking about how they're just all hanging around the perimeter. Can you win a championship in the NBA doing that?
Well, we'll find out. I don't think so. But part of it, again, goes back to talent. You've got a diminished Chris Paul. He's not the Chris Paul of 5 or 6 years ago. And then their next best player is Eric Gordon. So Mike D'Antoni never played this way before. This isn't how he played. I think he does what every coach has done, is you try to figure out the best way for your team to have a chance, and they have to put the ball in James Harden's hands every time down the floor.
At this point, they need to win 4 out of 5 against one of the great teams of all time if they're going to advance.